he's foreshadowing to coming clean. Chris admits in this video that he is in fact a cheater. And so Chris Williamson, who's glazing Chris Bumstead, and deservingly so, he's the GOAT. But he asked him a question. How do you deal with hunger? I mean, you're competing at 4% body fat, you're leaner than everyone. How do you get so shredded? How do you deal with the hunger? And so please tell us about that, Chris.
I mean, it's hard to answer in that aspect because I always have had world championship as my driving passion.
Stop being a pussy, stop being a pussy, stop being a pussy. Yeah.
Like, don't be a little bitch, just don't eat it, you know?
And so aside from don't be a little bitch, stop being a pussy. Aside from that, how do you deal with it? I mean, you never cheat on your diet. How do you deal with this?
Momentum is absolutely huge. Being able to do something consistently. I've been doing this consistently for a decade. You know, almost everything I've eaten has been weighed out to a T and planned and for a reason for 10 years now.
And so despite the fact that he has the mindset of a champion, perhaps he's like David Goggins. Despite all that, he needed to measure everything out. There's no way he could have cheated on his diet. Only thing is, he's foreshadowing to coming clean. Chris admits in this video that he is in fact a cheater.
Every year has gone a little bit easier because I've gotten used to it. I know what it takes. I know what comes with it. We were just talking about, you said Mike Israetel says the same thing. You stop caring about food.
And so he brings up Mike Israetel. He says, even Mike Israetel, he stops caring about food. Isn't Mike Israetel the guy that's having Gatorade at every meal? That he's eating a box of cereal, milk, and he's doing this on his diet? Last I checked, Israetel's not the guy to brag up about how lean he's getting. You really think that Israetel has what it takes to come in shredded? That his mindset is just greater than everyone? Do you really believe that the only reason he's not a pro right now is because bro couldn't get a freaking tan? And so Cbum, how are you name dropping Mike Israetel and you're not talking about Coach Greg? You know I have the best cookbook in the entire world. And if Mike Israetel had my book, he would be a pro right now. That or the Turk Builder, the GO2 Max, you know if he had that, he would be a pro. He'd perhaps be competing in the Olympia.
I don't like eating food because I'm eating so much food. So I don't look forward to the food that I eat. I just make sure it's something edible that I can get down. If I have to put like bone broth on it or some sriracha and just eat it really fast.
He doesn't look forward to them. It's boring, but whatever gets the job done. But none of this is actually true.
And then when I come down into prep and I am hungry, I still am not excited to eat the food. It's just some chicken breast and some meal, make it super plain, and it is what it is.
And so he's saying, even in contest prep, I'm not excited to eat those meals. The plain chicken, it's boring. He has to put on some sriracha sauce, some low-calorie ketchup just to get the food down. But remember, Chris is going to admit he's a cheater, and so let's wait for it now.
And you also got to create like exciting daily victories for myself. You know, I weigh myself like 3 times a day and I don't get obsessively worried about it.
That's called being obsessive. Now remember, he needs to be obsessive. This is his job. It's his career. You're just a regular person. You're not competing in the Olympia. And so for you, it would make no sense to have to weigh yourself and worry to this extent. But for Chris, of course he's obsessive. He's the freaking Mr. Olympia champion.
Okay, I'm going to weigh myself right now. I'm a pound heavier than I was yesterday. You can't even think about eating anymore today. Like, you're heavier than yesterday. Like, you should probably eat less today. Even go do some more cardio. Push it a little bit harder.
A little bit harder than guess what? Last time.
When you start to get to that point where you're so tired and like, I was telling you, like, I dropped something on the floor and I'm like, look at it. And I'm like, I can't pick that up.
I've discussed how hard it is to get shredded. Now, Chris has gone to level 4 in terms of his diet. Mike Israetel, he's gone to level 4 in terms of his training intensity. In case you're wondering, Mike has never been truly shredded. Never. Despite all the science he has in the world, despite all the training, he doesn't know how to diet. And so Chris knows when you're so exhausted that you can't bend over to pick something up on the floor, or you're like Coach Greg in the bathtub and you need help to get out of it, or you're calling your friends to pick you up and drive you to the gym because you're scared you're going to get in a car accident because you don't have enough energy to do a shoulder check, that's when you're truly dieting harder than last time. And so Chris knows it, I know it. Certainly Mike Israetel has no clue how to diet to this extent.
I'm literally wearing Birkenstocks, dragging my heels across the ground and walking. Courtney's like 20 feet ahead of me. I'm like, I can't catch up. I'm too tired.
Now remember, it's far easier now with the invention of GO2 Max and Turk Builder and so on. And there is in fact a money back guarantee. And so if you're interested in any of these, code Greg 15% off.
It's all mental for me at this point. You know, there's no really crazy diet hacks. I eat the exact same thing every day.
There is a crazy diet hack. It's called Coach Greg's Cookbook. It's literally could have been called the cheat code. The cheat code is the book.
I don't know whether I've ever seen a rebound day.
And so does Chris ever do a rebound cheat day? Does he have cheat meals, or is Chris always perfect?
So my coach like, what'd you eat today? I'm like, 400 grams of rice. But like realistically, I had a bunch of chicken breasts and then I had 3 cookies with it, you know, and it's the same amount of carbs, but I'm like, I'm just gonna have some cookies today.
And so Chris admits to cheating. Coach asks, what did you eat for your refeed meal today? It was, of course, how many grams of rice? 400 grams of rice. Meanwhile, it's 4 cookies. And so Chris, during refeed cheat days, he's craving the junk. And so sometimes he says, the hell with it. I'm going to eat some cookies. I'm going to have some muffins. It's not going to make a difference. And guess what? It doesn't make a difference. And so, of course, he's cheating. I often tell people 95% of contest prep dieters are cheating on their diets and not telling their coach. And why do I know that? Because I coach these athletes. And so what do you think I do? I created the cookbook. I give these meals to my clients because I know if they don't have it, they're just going to cheat. When they tell you that they never cheat on your diet, know that for their birthday, they had a 16-inch pizza and a bottle of wine. They're not going to tell you about that. And so when they give you all this information, it's not actually true. I know this happens, and that's why on every plan that I give to any of my clients, all of them every single day can have a meal off of the plan. I don't even call it a cheat. I call it an off meal plan. And why? Because you're going to do it anyway. I'd rather allow them to do this and not feel like a bad person, because even Cbum is cheating on his diet. And so if 6-time Mr. Olympia champion Cbum can't follow the diet, what do you think the odds are that you can? And so if you're looking for the best possible diet plans, the best book in the world, click the link in description, code Greg, 15% off.
I might have stressed about that in the past, but it's going to affect me more. And now I'm like, you know what you're doing. You've done this for 10 years. You know what's going to hold you back, what's going to not. I'm going to enjoy my cookie with my wife.
And so he's enjoying more cookies than last time.
I'm going to eat this. I'm going to go to the gym, train some
I know
legs.
it's good for me.
It's good. It's fine. And I'll be good.
And so in the end, it's still calories in, calories out. There's no research to support that you need to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice instead of, for example, the foods in my cookbook in order to get shredded. Another thing Chris is mentioning is that if you actually never cheat on your diet and you're really, really strict and really, really focused, it can actually make you worse. If the diet takes over your life and it's all you think about, all you can think about is that cookie or that muffin, you're not going to be able to diet as hard as if you allowed yourself to give in to some of those temptations, because giving into those temptations, it's not going to make a difference. It still comes down to calories in, calories out. And so if you need that mental break, you need to have that cheat meal, you need it in order to keep pushing, then you need to go for it. If you simply say to yourself, no, I can't have that. And if you tell yourself, I'm a bad person, I need to be punished for eating that donut, that chocolate piece of cake, whatever, it's not going to help you. Mentally, physically, socially, spiritually, if you think that you're a bad person for doing something that your body needed you to do, then you're never going to get the most out of it. Even Chris Bumstead, the GOAT, 6-time Mr. Olympia champion, even he cheats on his diet. Now, one thing I don't agree with, he's lying to his coach. Why couldn't he say to Hani Rambod, look, I need to eat some cookies. I need a break. Does he think that he's going to say, oh, Chris, how could you? That he's going to lose respect for Cbum? And so reality, unless your coach is like Samson Dota's wife and literally living with you and preparing all your meals, how do you know what they're actually eating? And you would have no idea how many people are eating these meals or having these cheat meals and visiting the washroom for number 3. You're thinking that bodybuilders are perfect, that they're specimens, that they just want it better than everyone else. Well, some of them do, but many of them are cheating. Have we not seen the crazy diets that people are on? I mean, we have Mike Israetel, who's supposed to be an expert. He's consuming cereal and Gatorade and junk throughout his diet. Considering that 99% of you are not trying to be bodybuilders, you're not trying to get down to 5% body fat, do you really need to think that you need to eat that strictly? Oftentimes I think that bodybuilders are just trying to brag that they're better than everyone else because they eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. Oh, I want it better. I go to bed at 10. I have no friends. I don't go to the movies. I'm a boring human being, and that shows how bad I want it. I'm better than you. This is bullshit. And so for decades, I've been preaching that you can eat from my cookbook, that you can have French toast, that it doesn't need to be chicken, broccoli, and rice. That is the way.